last Klein math video, we're going to take a look at this 5th grade star release question about triangles. So let's go ahead and go into our question sentence. Which figures belong in the part of the organizer, so this is our organizer, labeled isosceles triangles? So I need to know what falls within the definition of an isosceles triangle. So let's go ahead and write out what that is. What do we know about isosceles triangles? We know that an isosceles triangle has at least 2 angles or 2 sides that are congruent, which is the same as saying equal, in size. So that's what we know about an isosceles triangle. So they've given us our graphic organizer. So a student uses this graphic organizer to classify different figures. All right. So I know that isosceles is a smaller category of the bigger category triangles. So this makes sense. So let's look at our figures. Okay, let's look at what we know about them. So they've given us some indicators on those different sides. So if we're talking about an isosceles triangle, it could be different forms of a triangle, but these 2 sides, at least 2 sides, are going to be equal in length. And to know that they're equal in length, the sides will share the same, what we call tick marks. Okay, these little dashes, these dashes, when they're the same, that means that those 2 side lengths are equal to each other, and we're not looking at any angles except 90 degrees. So we know that isosceles can be 2 angles or 2 sides that are equal to each other. So let's look at what's given. Okay, in figure 1, this is 1 dash, this side has 2 dashes, and this side has 3. So right off the bat, this is what we call a scalene, because none of the sides are equal, so it can't be figure 1. Figure 1 is not the same as an isosceles triangle. So let's go to our answer options. I see that answer G has figure 1, and answer H has figure 1. Well, these can't be my answer options since I know a scalene is not the same as an isosceles. So let's go to figure 2. These identical dashes, 1 dash, 1 dash, 1 dash, this means that all 3 sides are the same. So that means if 3 sides are the same, at least 2 of the sides are the same or congruent. This is technically an equilateral, which is also known as an isosceles triangle. So this one would fit within this part of the diagram. So figure 2 is, yes, it is isosceles. So F works and J works. Okay. So let's look at figure 3. So figure 3 is going to be like figure 1. These dashes or these tick marks on the sides are not the same. So this will also be what we call a scalene triangle. So both of these scalene triangles are actually going to fall in this part of the organizer. So it can't be figure 3. F does not have figure 3 and J doesn't have figure 3. We weren't able to eliminate any answers there. So just by looking at figure 4, I can see that the dashes on these 2 sides are the same. That means that these 2 sides are going to be equivalent or congruent to each other. This bottom one has 2 dashes, and that's fine. I needed at least 2. So this is an isosceles triangle. So this triangle would fall within this part of my graphic organizer. So I know that figure 4 is an isosceles. Figure F does not have figure 4. Answer F does not have figure 4, but answer J does. So let's keep going and let's just make sure that we're on the right track. I'm thinking right now J is my answer, but let's finish it off. So if I look at figure V, just by looking, I can see that this dash and this dash are the same. That means that these 2 side lengths are congruent or equal to each other. So at least 2 sides are, so this is also an isosceles triangle, so that one would also go into this portion of our graphic organizer. So figure V is, but remember answer F, it didn't have figure 4. So F is not my answer. It had 2, but not all 3 of the isosceles triangles that were given. Figure J, it proves it has all 3 of the isosceles triangles.